A poem for you all. This one's by a Moree poet. Moree's about an hour and a half northwest of here. If you're going really well. Moree poet called Murray Harton. Hey, he's from Moree. Leave me alone. It's not my guitar unless it's been in the dryer. Okay, this poem is called Turbulence. I'll do my best. Here's a tale of Billy Hayes from out near Alice Springs. A wild young ringer in his day who'd done some crazy things. He'd jumped bulls over fences, raced a colt up Ayers Rock, said his legs weren't built for walking, they were made for riding stock. A legend round the radio from Cundabung to Broome, an untried horse at 6 a.m. was saddle broke by noon. No form of equine foolery Bill wasn't going to try. Only one thing ever spooked him. He was way too scared to fly. If I was meant to do it, I'd have feathers and a beak. You'd take the plane there in a day, I'll drive and waste a week. They say they're safe as houses, mechanically they're sound. I don't see no rope or bridle, so I'm staying on the ground. Well, one day Billy got a phone call from his mate in Adelaide. Got his girl in trouble, so the wedding cards were played. Oh, Bill, I don't care how you do it. You can beg or steal or borrow, but you're going to have to catch a plane because the big day's on tomorrow. Well, Billy cursed and spat it, said that dopey bloody coot. He knows I'd jump on anything that's coming out of chute. I caught stallions that'd kill you. Caught bulls gone off their brains. Never thought there'd come the day I'd have to catch a plane. Well, they led him to the airport. Bill thought, this is it. The lady at the counter said, where would you like to sit? He said, you know that black box thing they always seem to find? You can stick me right inside if you wouldn't bloody mind. Lady just smiled politely, said, sir, I'll just take your bag. He said, I don't bloody think so. And by the way, it's called a swag. Oh, thanks, Emmy.
Nanny Beth had it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's hiding under a chair.
Well, Bill was sweating buckets when they finally cleared the strip. Had his seatbelt on that tight, he was bleeding from the hip. When they levelled out, he stopped shaking at the knees. He settled back, relaxed, and thought, this flying game's a breeze. Then the captain crackled something. Bill asked the hostess what was said. Sir, you'd better buckle up. There's some turbulence ahead. Turbulence? What's that? Sir, it's pockets caused by heat. And when it gets severe, it can throw you from your seat. Throw me, I'll be buggered. He wrapped his legs around his swag and put his left hand through the strap. He jammed down his Akubra. He was ready now to ride. And when things got pretty bumpy, old Billy yelled, outside! Well, the plane, she dropped 1,000 feet, rose up 500 more. When his head near hit the ceiling, he gave a mighty roar. I've rode all through the territory and never come unstuck. So give me all you got, big bird, and buck, you bastard, buck! While the passengers were screaming in fear of certain death, Billy whooped and hollered till he near ran out of breath. You would have thought that canvas swag was welded to his arse. Before the ringer knew it, he'd bucked up to business class. There seemed no way to tame this creature. Had 10 gears in reverse. Didn't bother Billy, just bucked on through to first. Oh, when the flight returned to normal, Bill was flat out on the deck. Still stuck to his swag, but he looked a bloody wreck. He pulled himself together, stood up and raised his hat. Said, I've had some tough trips in me time, but never one like that. An 8-second spin in Alice says you made a sturdy stuff. I was on there near a minute. I reckon that's enough. Well, the first-class folk were dumbstruck at this crazy ringer's feat. Bill just sneaked a crownie and he ducked back to his seat. Now, years have passed and Bill's long give the bucking game away. Too many breaks and dusty miles for far too little pay. Now, planes are not a problem. In fact, he'd rather fly than ride. And when you talk about his maiden voyage, his chest puffs out with pride. You can talk about your Rocky Neds and that old chainsaw bloke. I'd ride them both without a rope and roll a bloody smoke. There's cowboys round who think they're hot. They ain't tasted heat till they've ridden time on turbulence at 30,000 feet.